Hello, I'm Kendra Bonnet with another in our series of Writing in 5 videos. Hucky, do you believe the dead people like it for us to be here? Huckleberry whispered, I wished I knowed. It's awful solemn like, ain't it? I bet it is. You may not remember this exact passage, but I expect you know its source. It's a bit of conversation between Tom and Huck from Tom Sawyer by the incomparable Mark Twain. Students of Twain, fans and admirers, 2010 is a very special year indeed, for Twain stipulated in his will that the majority of his autobiography, some 1 million words, would remain under lock and key for 100 years from his death. In 1909, Twain wrote, I came in with Halleys Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it. It will be the greatest disappointment of my life if I don't go out with Halleys Comet. In fact, he died one day after Halley's closest pass by Earth. This November, the University of California Press will publish the first of 3 volumes of the autobiography. Faulkner called Twain the father of American literature. To author, critic, playwright, friend William Dean Howells, he was the Lincoln of our literature. It's easy to understand the admiration for Twain's work, but why the analogy to Lincoln? Well, Twain, for all of his success, was not an ivory tower intellectual. He was a man of the people, born and raised in rural Missouri, the 6th of 7 children, and a riverboat captain in his youth. He was also a man with an insatiable appetite for life and people. He traveled the world, he paid close attention and reported on what he saw, and most important, he listened. Listening, having a keen ear, made him not only attuned to dialogue, but one of its finest executors. Mark Twain had an ear for dialogue and dialect, much the way a pianist with perfect pitch and a good memory can hear something once and play it back. Mozart had that talent. Twain insisted that to be around people was to hear a variety of language, that cacophony of sounds belaying native country, social class, education. It was music to his ears. His goal was to capture that in the dialogue of his books. He worked his dialogue to bring out the very essence of a character. Read, better still listen to Twain's dialogue. You won't have much trouble differentiating the speech of one character or another. He used all the tricks he could muster. Grammar and syntax were key to his style. His poor and uneducated characters speak in an obviously substandard English, using lots of contracted words, slang, and vernacular. He also relied on bits of foreign language when appropriate, period language such as Middle English, jargon, regional words, colloquialisms, and of course dialect. Twain is one of a mere handful of authors considered to be able to use dialect effectively. But don't get the idea that Twain just had a natural-born talent. He wasn't a dialect prodigy. It was work, as these quotes indicate. The lesson here for writing students is twofold. Practice and rely on your ear. Matilda and I often tell our students to read their work out loud, especially the dialogue. You'll hear so much more. So what's the takeaway for the modern writer? I'd have to say that it takes a skilled hand and a well-trained ear to write dialogue, and especially dialect, as proficiently as Twain. Read his work, all of his work, study it. Study also the work of William Faulkner, Charles Dickens, Joel Chandler Harris, Stephen Crane, and George Bernard Shaw. Listen to conversations, record them, and play them back. You'll see that even those writers trying to capture natural language are not really true to the spoken word. We hesitate a lot, say a lot, you know. We repeat ourselves, butcher the grammar, and seldom speak in complete sentences. You might track down a couple of books, both coincidentally with the same title, Talk the Talk, a dialogue workshop for scriptwriters by Penny Peniston, and Talk the Talk, the slang of 65 American subcultures by Look Reed. And until you become a master, use dialect sparingly. Sprinkle a few local distinctive phrases, probably more in the early pages where you're establishing the character, and remember that a little slang goes a long way. And rely on dialogue for more than characterization. Use it to build tension in your plot, move action along, create suspense. Dialogue is one of a writer's power tools. As you listen to this and all of our Writing in 5 quick tips, Matilda Butler and I hope to inspire you to examine your own writing practices and philosophy. We invite you to visit Writing Alchemy online for more audios and videos. That's writingalchemy.com. In our book, Writing Alchemy, Matilda and I present a revolutionary new method that puts the writer in control of the creative process. We believe that just using the various elements of good writing is not enough. You want to use them deliberately. Writing Alchemy will help you integrate all of the elements into your writing effectively, turning your words into gold, hence Writing Alchemy. Thank you for listening, and now it's time for you to put your reading, dreaming, and wishing aside and get to writing.